Survivor is back, season 50, and the show wasted absolutely zero time reminding us exactly why we have been watching this for 26 years. In one 3 hour premiere, we got a woman from season 1 getting blindsided on night 1, a defending champion immediately blowing up her own game by telling her entire tribe she just won $1 million 2 weeks ago. Coach and Aussie bearing the hatchet in the first 5 minutes, and then immediately going back to being Coach and Aussie, and a Survivor 48 winner being carried off the beach on a stretcher with a ruptured Achilles tendon before the first tribal council even happened. And somehow, there was also a Billie Eilish idol. I have so many feelings. We are getting into all of them right now. Okay, 3 things you're going to find out in this video. Number 1, the full breakdown of how Jenna Lewis Doherty, a woman who has been playing this game longer than most of this cast has been alive, got voted out first, and why the person who should have gone home is somehow still sitting on that beach right now. Number 2, Kyle Fraser's injury. What happened? What the medical team found? And why this is one of the most heartbreaking early exits in Survivor history. And number 3, every major player from episode 1 ranked by who is set up to dominate this season and who is already one bad tribal council away from going home. Because after 3 hours of television, I have very strong opinions. If you are a Survivor fan and you are not subscribed to this channel, yet hit that button right now. You are going to want every single recap we do this season. Okay, let us relive this premiere together. First, let us set the scene. Because Survivor 50 is not just another season. This is the golden anniversary. This is in the hands of the fans. 24 returning players, the largest cast in show history, selected from the 751 people who have played across all 49 previous seasons. These are not random picks. This is the show saying, we went through everyone and we chose you. Jeff Probst was standing on that beach in Fiji with a speech that genuinely gave me chills. He looked out at those 24 players and said, "You all represent 25 years and 49 seasons of the greatest adventure on television. We chose you to represent Survivor 50. And then he said, the only thing we want in exchange for giving you this spot is everything. We want your blood, your sweat, your tears. We want it all." And then the fans immediately voted to make them earn their rice. Because apparently Survivor fans are diabolical, and we love suffering. And I say we because I also voted, and I also chose the harder option, and I will not be apologizing for that. But wait, because the fan vote twist is just the beginning of the chaos that this premiere set up. And the thing that happened in the first challenge changed the entire game before it even really started. Stay with me. Okay, 24 players, 3 tribes. Sila tribe in orange, Joe Hunter from 48, Savannah Louie who just won season 49 2 weeks ago, Christian Hubicki from David vs. Goliath, Siri Fields who has played 5 times and is the greatest player to never win, Ozzy Lust who has played 4 times and is arguably the greatest challenge performer in show history, Emily Flippin from season 45, Rick Devens from Edge of Extinction, and Jenna Lewis Dougherty from Borneo and All Stars, the only original Borneo castaway in the entire season. Kalo Tribe in Teal, Jonathan Young from 42, Dee Valadares who won season 45, Mike White from David vs. Goliath, Camilla Carthagesu from 48, Charlie Davis from 46, Tiffany Irvin from 46, Coach Wade who has played 3 times, and Chrissy Hoffbeck from Heroes, Healers, Hustlers. Vatu Tribe in Magenta, Colby Donaldson from the original era, Genevieve Mushaluk from 47, Rizo Velovich, Angelina Keeley from David vs. Goliath, Q Burdett from 46, Stephanie LaGrossa Kendrick, who played twice in the old era, Kyle Fraser, the Survivor 48 winner, and Aubrey Bracco from Cow Wrong. That is a roster. That is an all-time roster. And the first 30 minutes felt like watching a celebrity reunion where everyone is pretending to be relaxed, but absolutely nobody is relaxed. Now, before we even get to the vote, we need to talk about Kyle Fraser, because this is the moment that had the entire premiere audience genuinely worried. The first immunity challenge required the tribes to retrieve bags, assemble a pole, knock down a key, and get through a series of brutal physical obstacles. And somewhere in that chaos, Kyle Fraser, the Survivor, 48 champion who came into this game as one of the most physically dominant players on the entire cast, went down hard. Medical came in immediately. They gave him an ultrasound right there on the beach. And the diagnosis was what everyone was dreading: a ruptured Achilles tendon, not a sprain, not a strain, a complete rupture. Kyle did everything he could to stay. He told Probst he wanted to keep going. He said he was okay. He said he could push through it. And you could see how much it meant to him. A man who just won this game 6 months ago coming back to prove he could do it again, being told that it was over before it even started. Probst told him they have a responsibility to care for the contestants, and Kyle Fraser was pulled from the game on night 1. He did not get voted out. He did not quit. His body gave out in the middle of a challenge on the most anticipated season of this show ever. And that is genuinely one of the saddest early exits this show has ever had. But here's the thing about Survivor. Even tragedy has to be followed by gameplay. And despite losing Kyle, the Vatu tribe won the challenge, which meant someone on the Orange tribe, Sila, was going home first. And that is where the Jenna story starts getting absolutely wild. Okay, I need you to focus right now because this next part is what everyone is going to be talking about all week. Jenna Lewis-Dougherty is a Survivor legend. She was on season 1, Borneo, the original, the season that started all of this. And she came back to season 50 with a specific mission. She wanted to play New Era Survivor. She said she was ready to be aggressive, ready to go after big targets early, ready to show that a Borneo original could compete with the best of the new era. And on day 1, she went to work. She immediately started pitching to vote out Siri Fields. Her reasoning was not crazy. Siri is the most dangerous social player in the history of this game. She has never won, despite going incredibly deep 4 times. Giving her any foothold on day 1 is genuinely risky. But here is where Jenna's game fell apart. She was not subtle about it. She was not strategic about it. She went to so many people with the Siri pitch that people started noticing. One of the recap writers described it perfectly. Jenna was campaigning so openly and so aggressively that it felt like she would have walked up to Siri herself and said, "Hey, Siri has got to go." She wrote, "Siri is first in the sand." Actually wrote it in the sand. And to make things worse, the challenge that sent Sela to tribal council, Siri botched it. She took the solo precision task and could not complete it, which meant Jenna had receipts, legitimate challenge performance receipts to go along with her pitch. And the tribe still voted Jenna out. 4 votes for Jenna, 1 vote for Siri. And the first person eliminated from Survivor 50 was the woman who flew the furthest back in time to be there. Why? Because Ozzy, who had quietly aligned with Siri within the first few hours on the beach, went too hard defending his #1 alliance. He made it so obvious that he and Siri were connected that Joe Hunter, Rick Devens, and others started looking at that pair as more dangerous than anything Jenna was doing. And when it came down to Jenna versus Siri, they chose the devil they knew over the aggressive newcomer who was already causing chaos on day 1. Ozzy told his confessional, "I have control of this tribe." With Siri's help, the edit gave him those words, and I have never seen a bigger self-inflicted target in a premiere episode. He is going to be a problem, and not in the good way. Now let us talk about the people who are set up to dominate. Coach Wade. I know. But hear me out. Coach won the opening challenge against Ozzy, which is the kind of thing that creates legend status on a returning player season. He came back humble. He came back self-aware. He got Jeff Probst to say, "Let's slay some dragons" on live television. And he went on the exile trip with Q and Ozzy and played it smart. This is not the same coach who was insufferable in South Pacific. This is a man who has watched himself on television for 15 years and knows exactly what he looks like. Watch coach this season, Savannah Louie, the Survivor 49 winner, who told her tribe on day 1 that she just won $1 million 2 weeks ago, which is the most wild strategic choice I have ever seen. But here's the thing, it worked, in the short term. Because by being transparent first, she actually built trust. And Rick Devens, who was the first one to say he did not buy it, was also the first one to be in an alliance with her by the end of the episode. She is playing a completely different game than anyone else on that beach, and she is 2 weeks removed from winning. She has no business being this good right now. Christian Hubicki started fire with his glasses, which is a very Chris Hubicki thing to do. And Mike White immediately started scheming within 30 seconds of hitting the beach. If those two link up properly this season, the nerds are going to be dangerous. Now let us talk about the Billie Eilish idol. Because I have to, Genevieve found an idol, she cracked it open, and inside was a twist that was apparently developed in partnership with Billie Eilish. It is called the Boomerang Idol. If Genevieve gives it to someone on another tribe, and that person gets voted out while holding it, the idol boomerangs back to Genevieve, and she immediately decided to send it to Ozzy, in hopes that he gets voted out and she gets the idol back. Now, the Billie Eilish branding of a Survivor advantage is either the greatest reality TV crossover in history or the most chaotic production decision this show has ever made. I genuinely do not know which one it is yet, but I respect the audacity. Here is my hot take, and this one is spicy. Jenna Lewis Dougherty should not have been the first person voted out of Survivor 50, and the fact that she was is actually a storytelling failure by this season's edit, because the episode spent so much time showing Jenna's aggressive gameplay as obviously wrong, and almost no time making a real case for why keeping Siri, who physically lost the challenge for her tribe, was the better decision. Siri is extraordinary. I love Siri. But if you are going to vote out the only season 1, original on the most nostalgic season in show history on night 1, you had better give me a compelling reason beyond she was too loud, and this episode did not fully do that. Jenna deserved better, and I think in 3 weeks when Siri and Ozzy blow up that entire tribe from the inside, everyone on Sela is going to realize it. Comment below right now. Were you devastated that Jenna went first? Or do you think the tribe made the right call? And who is your early pick to win Survivor 50? Because after 3 hours of television, I have a top 3 in my head, and I want to see if anyone is thinking what I am thinking. Drop it in the comments. I am reading every single one. All right, let us close this out. 3 things to take away from the Survivor 50 premiere. 1. Jenna Lewis Dougherty came back from Borneo, played aggressive from minute 1, and got blindsided before the first commercial break of the season. The biggest irony? The person she was targeting botched the challenge that sent them to Tribal and still survived. 2. Kyle Fraser's ruptured Achilles is one of the most heartbreaking moments in recent Survivor history. A defending champion taken out of the game before he could even really play it. He deserves to come back for season 51. 3. Coach Wade beat Ozzy in the first challenge. Savannah told everyone she just won $1 million and it somehow worked. Genevieve found a Billie Eilish boomerang idol and immediately sent it to Ozzy. And we have not even gotten to the second episode yet. Episode 2 airs Wednesday, March 4th on CBS and Paramount+. The recap video goes up immediately after it airs. Subscribe and hit the bell right now. You do not want to be behind on this season. I promise you that. I will see you Wednesday night.